Hello! Welcome to VO Journey Academy Live. My name is Anthony.
I'm Gabby.
And I'm Angela.
And we are voiceover actors. We're something. We are something. Yes. It is good to see everybody today. Hi, ladies. How are you all doing? Good.
Morning.
Good.
I'm doing. I am it's a super busy day for me, which is not a complaint at all. Love it. Love being busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you are just joining us for the first time on Thursdays, we take Thursdays and we talk about Academy Voices. And as you see here, Gabby, Angela, and myself, we are the team. We have some other people who definitely help out, like Claire and some other people, but this is kind of our main team of people who run Academy Voices. From the publishing and auditioning to the social and the media and all that jazz. So we're really excited to talk about all of that with you today, and of course answer any questions that you might have about Academy Voices. So Angela had some questions the other day. What were some questions you were saying you had from some people about Academy Voices?
Angela? I had a question yesterday or the day before, the last couple days, about some clarity on how Academy Voices membership worked.
Cool. Yeah. So first and foremost, you have two different types of memberships you can get. So you can start off with a monthly membership, which is only $9 a month. And when you join, this is a key because I get this questions a lot. When you join, you don't have to have your demo and headshot done yet. All right. That's a really cool thing about that.
Very unique.
Yes. You don't have to have it done yet to start auditioning. So all of our auditions, right, which we have a couple of jobs that go out a day now. All right. All of our auditions, you can start auditioning
minimum
immediately. Immediately. Gabby knows all about that. And you can talk about that a little later. But you don't have to have that right away. You can get that when you do, and then it will go up on the roster. But you don't need it right away. The second membership is a yearly membership, right? And of course you get like a month or 2 months free on that. And it's the same thing. You just pay, one time for the year, and then you don't have to pay again until the next year, or if you decide to stay with Academy Voices. We have people who do both. It's really just up to you which one you want to do. So yeah, and when you, like I said, when you join, you get access immediately to our job posting board and where all the jobs are going through. Yeah. All right, so hey, we got a lot of awesome people joining. Good to see everybody. Today, and we want to continue. I guess maybe I should stop and say, ask Gabby. So, Gabby, we've definitely increased our number of auditions, right?
That's an understatement. That isn't a yes. Yeah, we have ramped it up big time. So I currently have. Oh my goodness, let me look at my master sheet here. There's like 150 auditions right now in the queue that are scheduled out all the way until June 30th now.
Wow.
And that is not counting anything that comes in between now and then that's going to take priority and get added to the schedule. So it's pretty great.
So there's 150 open auditions.
No, there's 150 that are we're putting them out 2 a day, and so as not to overwhelm, right? There's probably about 50 open auditions right now.
That's still a good chunk.
But it is. But every day we release 2 more, and so I'm scheduled all the way through the end of June right now, and who knows, I might add a third each day. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's a lot. It's a lot of books, and it's great. And most of them are under an hour in length. So their total finished audio is an hour or less. The majority. Now, there's plenty more that are much, much longer, but I think it gives a nice variety, especially for people who either aren't sure if they want to take on a big project or are looking for smaller projects that they can take on in between their larger projects.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Angela, talk to us about, how these like kind of these amazing covers and everything that you've been creating recently that's getting a lot of buzz. We've seen a lot of people really excited about all of that and kind of what you've been doing on your end.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I'm really liking how the new covers are turning out. Um, and it allows me to be creative again. So I really enjoy that because it's not just, pushing buttons. There's actually input and choices, and there's a lot more to it, to creating the covers, and I'm really enjoying those quite a bit.
Yeah. That's what I love about this whole process, because there's so much more to it that makes, I don't know, it makes the day feel more full.
Yeah, for sure.
If that makes sense.
I think what they're both saying is we're the three of us are a teeny bit jaded with voiceover performances. So even though that is creative in and of itself, right? We need other stimuli because we've all got
Creative
a good
people.
ADHD.
I have found that we kind of set a goal. Well, I set the goal, and these lovely, amazing women have timidly agreed to it, that we're going to get to 1,000 projects completed by the end of the year. And that's we were sitting at about 450 maybe before but when the year started. So it has, and until both kind of Gabby and Angela came onto the team, you know what I mean? It definitely was a lot more, just going a lot more slowly. And I think, having you guys has been incredible, because I think it's increased, just the total number of auditions we can put out there, jobs we can put out there, and work and stuff. So I'm very excited about that. But it's a very ambitious goal, but I think we've got about 350 or so, I think, voice actors right now on Academy Voices. And I did want to talk about that briefly, because and I wanted to get y'all's take, both of y'all's take on this. So I often do get asked a question about how many, voice actors should we have on our roster? All right. Or meaning, how many, should we have a part of Academy Voices? Because when I originally started this, y'all laugh at this, I had the idea that it was only going to be a couple of people, and those couple of people would just do all of the work all of the time, and it would just be fantastic because there'd only be a couple. And I think many of us voice actors, at least until you get behind the curtain, until you see the guy behind the curtain, think that's the end all be all, right? But I want to chat about that. So Gabby, on your end, so we have 350 voice actors. How many auditions? So we're ramping up jobs and getting more out there. How many auditions are we seeing per, I mean, and now it varies, I know. So you can talk about the varying.
It varies greatly. I would say on average 20.
Okay.
20 auditions per project, give or take. Okay. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I'm going to tell you something else that happens a lot is that we will have a handful of people who are very consistent, and they will audition for many, many projects. And sometimes, especially if something is, because auditions get grouped together by when they were posted. So you might have had somebody who maybe had a not so busy day, and they auditioned for a chunk of things in rapid fire. Well, the problem is, let's say I cast them for one project. I'm not going to then pile them up with additional books so soon after. Yeah. So there's always usually a handful of people where I have to sort of juggle and go, oh, okay, well, so-and-so just booked this. So even though, really good audition, but I'm not going to give him top consideration for this next one, or I may have to reach out to them to see if they're available, kind of thing. And it's about spreading the love, right? It's about making sure that everyone has a chance to take on projects and that no one person is too top heavy. And man, we need more people. We need more people. Absolutely. I mean, as we get into accents, especially, I've noticed a couple of projects here recently that need Scottish accents. And let me tell you, everybody goes, "Oh, not the Scots. No. And like runs away from, right? We need more. Yeah.
How about on your end, Angela?
Well, I was just going to piggyback off of what Gabby said. Last night in the script workout, we had a couple people who were practicing their auditions for books for Academy Voices. I think it was War of the Worlds specifically.
Oh.
And a few of them were going to audition for it, but heard one person's take and said, okay, well, I'm going to bow out then because that guy just did fantastic. And I said, no. That's what you just said was a perfect example of why you should. Because if one person gets something and he's good for, he does several auditions, it doesn't mean he's going to get all of them.
No. And I mean, I have one gentleman right now who's working on the Iliad and the Odyssey, right? Massive project. Massive project. I am not going to bog him down with anything else while that's taking place, or unless he tells me he needs a break from it. So yeah, I
mean, it's not even the workload thing. It's everybody's got a different take, right?
Yeah.
They're all valid. They're all fantastic. Everybody's got a different kind of representation of what that should sound like.
I was talking about, maybe it was last week when I don't remember. Oh, that's right, because Angela wasn't with us last week. I was talking about how it's almost become a little bit of a game for me to see who was voted the top audition for a project and whether or not I agree. And sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I go, no, I think there was another option where there was something about someone else that I really appreciated. And yeah.
I got a question for the two of you. What do you think about that very thing we're talking about? And that is, I made the decision early on, I don't know, maybe just because it's the educator in me, to allow everyone to hear the auditions. That's not normal. You can do, in fact, I don't know of any other place anywhere where they actually publish the auditions. Sometimes some of the like Fiverr will publish jobs that are completed sometimes for a client, on their they're scrolling on the bottom like of your your profile, but no place that I've ever seen does that. What do you guys think about that? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you like, we don't want to tell Anthony it sucks, or do you like it?
I've always appreciated it. I can speak for myself as a voice actor and an educator on this. Hearing other people's auditions makes you better. It gives you unique perspective. It gives you a new way to approach something. It keeps you from being in a rut sometimes. I think I know for me personally, I grew leaps and bounds as a voice actor when I was in casting and I was able to hear other voice actors' submissions on a regular basis. Yeah.
I agree with you, Gabby. It's just like listening to audiobooks as an audiobook narrator. You learn so much by listening to other people, but on the flip side, I can see it from both sides. On the flip side, coming from an audition standpoint, if someone were to, just like last night, hear somebody else's take and go, oh God, I can never do that. I'm not even going to bother. Right? So that is how I see that as a double-edged sword. But the fact that they're there gives each narrator the option to do that or not.
I also think the smart way to approach it is going to be submit your audition blind. Yeah. Don't listen to anybody else's beforehand.
Yep.
Submit your audio, then go listen if you want to have that. Because again, it's a growing learning process. And I really do think other actors make us stronger in our craft in so many ways. Josh had a question. He said, do you listen to 100% of the auditions? You bet your ass I do. Yes, because we have to. I have to. I'm not I know that some casting places, I think things that are more client driven, right? It's very common for a client to stop the audition when they've found the person that they want. No, I don't do that. I got to listen to everybody, because the way Academy Voices is set up and the way we're casting, because a lot of the projects are royalty share, it really is just about finding the best person for the job. And there's no way I'm going to do that if I stop it too soon. So, yep, every single one.
That's great.
Yeah. I might not listen all the way through, but but I'm at least listening to everyone.
Yeah, I think that goes to another thing too, that I wanted to say. So things that I've noticed, and everybody, when you audition, we have some people and who will audition for everything. Right? They'll come on and they might not have been on for a little bit, so they'll put up like 12 or 15 auditions. And then, for example, Gabby will cast that person. Right. And that person, though, will still be, those auditions will still show up on the other ones, but you don't know that person has been cast. Right. And because of that, you know what I mean? As you were saying, Angela, those people were saying the other night, that's why it's so important to always put your auditions up, because you never know what is happening with someone. And here's another thing. You never know what the casting director is trying to accomplish. Okay. I was talking about this earlier with the student. When you join VO Journey Academy, we get a 15-minute session together to say hello and get to meet. And I was speaking to a new member this morning, and we were talking about that very thing. And I think it's just so important to bite the bullet, if you will, and just get it out there. Just get it out there. It's okay. And that's what Academy Voices is really special about too, is we want you to do it, even if you feel that you might not be ready. Insert my friend up on here, Chris. Chris, I'm going to call you out. I love you to death. But it is time, my friend. Please come on over, get started. It's okay if you don't feel ready, because it's, it's a safe environment on Academy Voices, right? That's a big thing.
If you feel ready, your ego's too big to fit in the door. Nobody feels ready.
Don't wait for ready.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
Never get there.
We all dive in way before we are, and then sometimes we look back and we go, "Oh my God, how did I get work like that?" Or why would people hire me? I do have something else that I want to add about auditions, though, on Academy Voices that's exciting.
Okay.
There are some larger literary works that are just big, right? Really, really big books. And something I'm starting to do is take some of those books, especially the ones where chapters are a little bit more like their own self-contained stories. And I'm starting to split them up into mini stories or smaller.
I love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to be doing is, as I post these books, I'm not going to be looking to cast one person. I may be looking to cast 2, 3, 4, 5 people off of one audition.
Love it.
And so I'm going to try to start tagging those as such, but it really is something to be on the lookout for. You never know where I might go, hey, this isn't just going to one person, it's going to multiple people. So another reason to always throw your name in that.
Are you hearing that, guys? Academy Voices, if you're a member, audition.
Yes.
Just do it.
How are you? How is Angela on your end? How are the files? How's everything going there?
I think well, that wasn't a bad exasperated sigh. It was just I know that I have a bunch still waiting for me. I'm catching up from vacation.
Yes.
You know, right?
Well, they started piling on fast because we double timed it.
Whoopsie.
Yeah. Okay, but I've got like 7 or 8 done so far, but we'll get there. But anyway,
you're rolling.
Anywho, I'm still seeing a lot of the head of the file, almost every single one. We did have one that was instead of the chapters split into separate files, it was just one big file, and I had to go through and find where the chapters were and split it up. But you know what? I'm just saying that because we're actually reviewing that in Launchpad. Not this week, but next week is ACX file formatting standards, and I know that this person was on the newer side and just didn't know, and that's okay. But that's really all I'm saying. The noise floors have been great. The RMS peaks are off a couple times. I mean, it's not anything major. You know, maybe a couple with a little over processing, but
that's good. That's good. I you know, and that's so, it's so important because there are going to be some files, everybody like that's watching that, unfortunately we can't do. So the thing with Angela, myself, and Gabby too, but I think now that Angela's doing it and I did it for in the beginning of this, we're engineers in our own right, and so we can take files because we've processed so much of our own and others that we understand what to do. But there is a point where you can't do, it's a point where you can't help. But I think that the majority of what we get currently is doing pretty well. I do think you're right, Angela. That's a good thing to go over, is the just being correct on how you are separating files. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I wanted to say, what was I gonna? Oh crap, I forgot. I wanted to say, because we had the question the other day, and I had put it in the chat. Okay, it's coming back to me because we were getting a lot of, oh yes, publishing. So one of the things I wanted to just let everybody know that we're here. I know Gabby is,
Gabby's frozen,
if you
and
could
that's a
freeze
great
on a
one.
face, Gabby. That's, oh, there you go. You're back.
I don't understand.
Like wherever we say
that was
Gabby,
a great one. It was a great big smile. It was fantastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But so something I wanted to talk about publishing, because this question was being asked all over the place, and it was something that we as a team decided that we wanted to be way more transparent when things were getting published. And since we publish, once we get work done, we're moving, we're publishing a lot of work that in the past, I was always concerned with telling people, hey, we just published so and such book, because when we publish work, we send it to the distributors, and then the distributors run it through their quality checks, etc. And then when they put it on their platforms, right, the retailers put on their platforms, it can vary. Like Audible puts it on platform and it takes X amount of days. Spotify takes X amount of days. Google Play, the libraries, etc. So when we put out and Angela posts, hey, I just published these, that means that it's past our quality control. We've now sent them to the distributors and the retailers, right, to go through their quality checks. So the question I was getting a lot was, hey, I'm so excited, but I can't find the links anywhere. Where are they? So that's why they don't show up right away, because now they're going through those checks. But it would be too difficult for us to be able to monitor the 40 plus retailers and libraries that we go through to determine each one when it comes live. So we wanted to share with you that it's now gone to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know, Angelo, what are you seeing time wise right now? It just varies right across the board.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, granted, it's by the time I submit the files to the time it's approved, a day, sometimes a couple days, it's pretty quick. But from that point forward, it's still going to vary from platform to platform, is what you're saying, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So like Audible sometimes will be quick, or sometimes it'll be very long.
Yeah.
Right. And, it can vary there. So, we're just letting you know. Also, because we don't, unfortunately, well, I think it's fortunate because I'm not too much fans of them, but it is what it is Audible. When you do not sign a deal with Audible to be exclusive, right? Meaning like you can't publish the work anywhere else. We don't, because we publish everywhere. We signed a non-exclusive contract with them. It just means that they don't give us those codes, those free codes. So unfortunately, because of that, Audible, that they sorry. Interestingly enough, though, they still are. I mean, they still make the most money, and they take the most money from everyone. But anyways, so but that's why we don't have those codes because we're non-exclusive with Audible. So people are like, oh, I love the code. So it's things we're all learning about how you distribute, to those retailers when we publish them. We do have some questions down here I want to get to.
Yeah, Ryan's
I know we
got
to
one.
go. I know Gabby's got to go here, and if you got to pop out, Gabby, we understand. We could probably stay a few more minutes if necessary.
Yeah, no worries. So Ryan asked, there was a little typo in his first message, so I'll fix it on the fly. He said, when you guys fix a small issue here and there, do you tell the narrator so they can correct for future submissions?
I think we touched on this a week ago or a couple of weeks ago. I was getting in just catch-up mode and trying to just get all of the backlog done. But yes, Ryan, I think going forward, if there's something major that's because you need to know it's part of the learning process.
Yeah.
But I will say though, and I will say from my point of view, at the same time though, it can get increasingly more difficult because of the amount of work. And I understand now why we don't, as voice actors, often get any notifications from anybody, just because the sheer amount of work that like Gabby and Angela are doing, right? To, and then it determines whether or not, because we're very education first and forward, even though Academy Voices is on that threshold, right? It's like, it is, we are education, but it's also a business outside of that. So we're going to try our best. But I would say when I did it, unless it was super major, I didn't have time to tell everybody, sadly.
Yeah.
But I think but now that you brought that up, Ryan, it would be great for everyone to get feedback if we could.
Yeah.
But I guess I had to leave that up to, Angela and Gabby. So
if I'm faced with a handful of files that need like a half a second of adjustment at the beginning and it's in front of me and I have the tools and I'm just going to get it done. But if it's something major that you need to learn from, Yeah,
absolutely. Let's see. Audio engineer recommendations for getting effects dialed in. Just let me know.
Anthony's the man.
Contact me here. Are you in VO Journey Academy, AJ?
Did you bring the donuts, AJ? You said you were bringing donuts.
There are donuts?
Earlier,
I
saw that I was here and was bringing donuts.
I do think a part of Academy Voices, right? Angela is, our engineer at the moment, right? Because Angela does the engineering for that. If you are interested in like your own things getting dialed in, like your own effects rack and things for your studio particularly, there are a myriad of engineers, right, that are out there. So it really just depends on, what attention you have. If you're part of VOJ, just contact me. It's super easy. I can help you out. We have a lot of stuff there, or you could just send me a message. Yeah.
We're actually talking about that tonight in Launchpad.
Okay, cool.
So another reason to join the Academy.
Good.
I'm going to dip out, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, bye, Gabby. Bye. Yeah, so I think moving on, what else are you seeing? Is there any trends? Is there anything you seeing, Angela, that you're liking with the publishing part? How do you feel about the publishing part? Actually, I didn't talk to you about it. Do you like to publish?
I do. I really enjoy it. I do. I really enjoy it. Trends as in like things that need to be fixed, or what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, like with what you're seeing, more people participate in, less people participate in. I know duets when it comes to audiobooks. Duet audiobook, that's been very exciting. But here's an interesting thing is that it can be challenging to make money from those. Unless they're paid up front, of course.
Yeah.
But the duets thing is we had a new submission from a new author. It was over 100,000 words, and it's a duet, and it's royalty share, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's
a lot of work.
That is a big project. I'm really looking forward to that
one. That's another thing too. If you are a voice actor and you can, I always feel like when you do a duet project, someone in that, unless you have someone you're working with that has an engineer of their own and they're going to mix it for you, one of you are going to have to put the files together. Right. And that's such an important piece of it. I always was the guy who put the files together when I did them, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot of work. It's definitely a labor of love. Yeah. Originally Angela, I was going to talk about how fast should it take you to do an audition? Cause I think that was something I want to talk about, because I'm seeing, so everybody watching, listen, if we could boil everything down, this whole voiceover mystery, that we could boil down to just one or two things, right? That could define what maybe your success looks like, or what success could be or doesn't be. One of them has to be the number of auditions that you can do, all right, that you can produce on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Because as we were talking about here, and Gabby and other people, there are going to be a lot of other auditions out there, and you are competing against a bunch of people. But here's the thing, you don't know if you are exactly right for that project ever. You don't know what the person is exactly looking at that moment. I always tell the story about, I wrote a short story and I published it, and I thought it'd be super cool to have voice actors narrate my story instead of me doing it, because I just wanted to hear the process. So I sent out auditions, and I got a whole bunch in, probably like 20 or 30 different auditions. It was really cool. And I listened to all of them, and I realized that none of them was what I wanted, not because they weren't good. They were all good. Was because I didn't relay effectively the information about the character that I wanted. The character was snarky and sarcastic. All right. And I didn't put that down, not because I was trying to be, mean about it, just because I didn't, for some reason at the time, I wasn't thinking about really relaying that individual information. So the people who auditioned did great, but they didn't have that characteristic. And then I was like, well, these just don't match.
Yeah.
So the reason why I bring it up is because this happens, I think, all the time.
Yeah.
And so what that means for us is that we have to continue to audition, regardless of whether or not we're absolutely perfect for the role, whether or not we did just the best audition in the world and they didn't get back to us. So that leads me to, how long should we shoot for to do an audition? And of course, we're talking about audiobooks today. Angela, I've got my own personal take, but I'm interested to hear what you think about time-wise per audition.
I ultimately getting to maybe 10, 15 minutes. I mean, ultimately that's a goal, because it is a numbers game, at the end of the day. But I wanted to ask you a question about what you just said about your own experience with soliciting auditions. So even though you failed to articulate what you were looking for as the author, amongst all of those auditions that you got, was there a voice that you liked and maybe perhaps asked them to do another take for you in the style that you were wanting?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. There was. And there was some that I felt, if I had given them better directions, they probably would have nailed it.
Okay.
Right? Like almost like they were holding themselves back. And which leads me to another point of, sometimes follow your gut.
Yes.
Right. How many people, Angela, do we see that are nervous about, making an opinion or having an opinion and going all in on it?
And that's another thing we touched on last night in the script workout, is that a lot of times there isn't any information, anything given about the character, their background. All you have is a slice of copy. You have no information about what's going on in the scene, nothing before or after. You just have to go with what you're feeling. Trust your instincts. Go with your gut. Like Anthony said, just give it your best shot with what you feel. Absolutely. It should be, and then just go for it. Because like Anthony just said, even if it's not exactly 100% on point, if you're the voice he's looking for, he can ask you to redo it in a more revised or specific way. So don't ever hold yourself back if there's a doubt, just trust your gut. Just get it submitted.
I think, absolutely. And I think we get nervous, we get afraid we're going to go so far one way that it's better to play it neutral. You know what I mean? So, because I think we think that by doing it like that, then we'll be able to be molded. But I think what I'm saying with my experience is that, that you don't look at it that way. I think from the other end, you think of that, well, that's just not what I'm looking for. I don't, now when in lieu of someone nailing it on the head, then yes, you're going to take the next best thing that you can find and then ask if they can do it differently.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. Yes, could you crash and burn? Meaning like you see a script and you think there's some alien with some alien crazy voice and you're like, blah, 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 and all kinds of stuff. And that's how you go for it, man. And they come back and they're like, I have no idea what in the world you were thinking. This is not an alien. This is a cab driver. Well, it could be an alien, but you know what I mean?
Could you do that again?
There you go. See, man of many talents. So what I'm saying about that is that but you still went for it.
Yeah.
Because the times that you don't, like you could have nailed it on the head and created something that is truly memorable that no one else ever thought of. But there are going to be times where people are like, I don't really want to hear that again, Anthony. So it's okay.
Everybody in the chat liked it.
There you go. There you go. So for me, that's exactly the time I agree with. 10 to 15 minutes is what we want to go for. And something that I noticed now, ACX makes it a little bit more difficult because you have to download some of the files to audition from, but I like the multi-tab approach to help you move faster, right? You can go through there, open up different auditions and multiple tabs, and you can literally go back audition one after another. Now, Academy Voices makes that very easy because we pop the script right in there for you, so you don't have to download anything. But thank you, Joy. But on ACX, you've got to kind of do that. Now on voices.com, Voice123, those platforms like that, you don't need to worry about it. They usually have the script just posted right in there. So you can open up multiple Voice Realm, these places, and go for it. Time wise. So let's talk about that real quick, Angela. How much time do you take per recording or how much time do we recommend recording / editing? I think this is going to shock some people. But do you want me to go first on this one? Then you go first. You go first.
I just answer your question really quickly. Cool. I think I spend more time analyzing the script than I do with the actual recording and editing, because once I have a as far as I understand it, a good grip on what is happening and how it should be delivered, I knock it out and then just clean it, send it, and then move on to the next. So minimal time. I mean, I would say most of that time is the analyzing of the script.
I agree. So like this morning I had an audition and it was just about 6 or 7 lines. And I read it and analyzed it in my head for a few minutes and then did 2 takes in under a minute, ran it through 3 little button clicks and sent it. So all of that. So the majority of the time actually was me looking at it and just coming up with how I was going to approach it. And then when I decided and I made the decision, I didn't go back and change it.
Don't allow yourself to overthink it.
No.
Just knock it out.
Now, when you get to a place, I think where like Angela and I are, and we've done so much, I'm not going to pretend that doesn't play a big role in our confidence, because it does. Okay. And when you're first starting out, you don't have that confidence yet because you haven't had all those jobs under your belt. And I totally understand that. But I think that's why we do what we do, because if we could go back and give our younger selves advice about that and say, hey, listen, it's okay. just go for it and move on to the next one. You're going to be all right. I think we do have a couple questions. Could you touch on what you said about the 15-minute thing? Okay. I don't think I knew that, or I forgot, because I do that a lot. Yeah, when you join VO Journey, if you join VO Journey Core, right, the core membership, then you get to sign up. We have a 15-minute session, which often goes to about 20 or 30 minutes, but we have a session where we chat and talk, get to know each other, talk about your goals, and answer any questions Yeah, it's a thing, and you should have you received that in the email, your opening email. But if you're part of core and you didn't get a chance to sign up, talk to me, just message me, and we can always set something up. All right. John says, what does he say, Angela?
Do you have any books that are shorter than an hour in Academy Voices? All the time. I don't know if we currently. I know Gabby said that we had a handful that were about an hour, so there might be some that are a little less, a little more.
Absolutely. Yeah. Joy says, what do you have in your effects racks or effects rack? So I can talk about mine. I don't know about Angela, but I will tell you that over the years and years I've done this, I really got to a point, and this is no slight on any other engineers, but less is more. Less is more. It is always better. Less is more. So I basically have a simple EQ. I have a simple single band compressor, and then that's it. I just do a cleanup. I use Isotope, and I use RX Standard, and I do a mouth declicker, and I do a voice to noise, and that's it. That is absolutely it. I do those four. That's the only things that I do. And I will say early on, I did 50 things to my audio. I processed the living snot out of that audio because I didn't like the way my sound was. And I mistaked the way my sound was for my processing. Here's an important thing. If you have a $40 microphone, that $40 microphone will just go as far as it can go. It's not going to sound like $1,000 microphone. Now, we can argue about the merits of after $1,000 microphones and how much you actually sound better, but there is a very clear difference in there. Does that mean you're going to get work and not get work? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you were like me, I listened to other people, I'm like, they sound so good. I want to sound like them. But my problem is that I was trying to process that, not really realizing that my $99 interface and my $40 microphone could only do what it could do. And I didn't understand that until I upgraded. I was like, ooh, that's better. Then I upgraded. Oh, that's better. And I upgraded. Whoa, that's way better. And then now, I realize less and less is more. What are your thoughts on that?
But also keep in mind, Anthony, that even where physically you started, logistically, was also a factor too. Because if some of you have followed Anthony for any amount of time, he started with a hobo fort. Yes. So as I always say, your space is 100% more important than the equipment that you choose.
100%.
But I do agree with you, Anthony. Less is more, but it usually takes a lot of trial and error. And upgrading equipment, treating your space, there's a lot involved there. And it's a very specific process for your specific place.
It is. I remember when I started my hobo fort, we were in our first home, my wife and I. It was a very small space, and I was right next to the kitchen, and it was open door to the kitchen. And we had one of those old refrigerators that ran all the time. It was always like running, like the it was always, yeah. And it would be late at night, and it was so loud. I would unplug the refrigerator, and I would forget to plug it back in, and my wife would be so mad, rightly so.
I'd murder you.
So mad at me about the refrigerator because I unplugged it because there was no way I couldn't turn it off, and I didn't know what to do, and it was causing all this noise, and so eventually, after way too long being down where I was, I created this corner hobo fort in my room. Right. That was just enough space. I created a little teeny desk, and I made it around my desk. I built my desk. I built everything and my PVC pipes to where I just got into it. And that helped a lot, because then I had carpet. I was in a quieter space. I was away from all the noise. So yes, your space is the number one thing that you need that can change everything. And interfaces are another thing that people overlook. I had bought $1,000 mic, and I was still using my $99 interface. And when I changed to my Apollo Twin, that changed everything. And I don't want people here to think that you have to have these things in order to get work, because don't forget, I was getting work. mean, when Angela started, we were getting work. We were starting to get work. So it's not like you can't get work. Okay, what else we got here? I don't remember that email, but I've talked to Angela before. I don't know what that one is. Hobo Fort. Hey, I resemble that.
And there's nothing wrong with the Hobo Fort. He's just lovingly called it a Hobo Fort for as long as I can remember. I mean, as we always say, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to sound good.
Thank goodness we are not, it's not, it doesn't need to be aesthetically pleasing to everyone else, because no one's going to see it. Let's see. Conversely, if you have $1,000 mic and your voice is rough one day, until you sort out your throat, you're going to sound like a 30-year smoker that's operating on 2 hours of sleep. Yeah, I always said, I will say one thing: the more expensive equipment you have, if you don't fix your space or you're having an ip with your voice, it just intensifies all of that stuff. That is very true.
Yep,
that is very true. Let's see. Unplugged fridge is real commitment.
That is.
I'm telling you, it was something, and I would half of the time remember to plug it back in. The other half I would forget because I was so exhausted. It was like 3 a.m, right? That was when I was grinding, from 10, 11 p.m. till 3 a.m. That was a rough time. I often wonder if I could do that again. It's like one time in your life. You upgraded your fridge? Yes, I changed. No, I moved myself away from that fridge. Let's see. I'm not super experienced, but I don't think there are effects to fix that. Yeah.
You're fine, Jules. Don't worry about it. You're doing great.
I have a water dispenser that can make a lot of noise a lot more noise than a fridge, but I can turn it off. Yeah, it was an old one. Changed it. really was crazy. Although funny thing is I had to put that thing up and take it down every day because it was right.
That's commitment too.
Oh my goodness, that was something else. And I was so happy, Angela. I remember being so happy to do it. Like, I was so happy to do it. But then after about a year, I got not so happy anymore about it.
You said that you literally assembled it and then disassembled it, put it all in a gym bag, took it back out to the garage. You did that big old one of
those big old army bags.
That's commitment, people.
Every day.
I don't want to hear any excuses from any of you.
It was a lot. It was a lot, but I was so passionate about it. Yeah. Let's see. I had a question about Isotope Mouth Declick. Is it compatible with Audacity? Yes, it is. Yep. Basically, it's to my knowledge, I'm trying to think if there's one that it's not compatible with. I don't think it is, but yes, it is. It is. Josh says, I can't wait till I have a studio not in my home. I feel bad asking everyone to stay quiet. Do you ever have that issue, Angela?
A couple times, but well, yeah. Well, my house is also 3 floors, so then I would sequester everyone to the top floor because my studio is on the bottom floor. So you guys just stay up there, be quiet. I mean, all I need is an hour, and they could just video games, so they're fine.
That was the determining factor for when I bought my first Whisper Room, because it was during the summer too, and I was like, I can't, the people, you were younger kids, they were younger at the time too. I mean, I think when they get older, it's not as bad, but when they're younger, right, they're playing, they're loud and everything, and I was like, I can't tell them to be quiet all day when I'm, being here. So that's why I ordered a Whisper Room to do that. So let's see. Anthony, how long did you do that overnight thing for? You want to know something funny, Nia? It became such a habit. I did it even after I went full time. So it was years because I got such in a habit of it. I don't know if any of you remember early on, maybe Angela remembers, I coined this thing I started calling the late night, what did I call it? Late night warriors or something, because it was like the people who were on at like 1 a.m. or 2 in the morning working on their voiceover business, like grinding, while everyone else was sleeping.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I'll never forget that. It was for a long time, but it wasn't until it was about 3 years. I did it for about 3 to 4 years. And then after that, I realized I just couldn't do it anymore. So I do often say that, everybody's got a stent in them. You gotta sprint. How long is how long can you make that sprint? Because I was passionate about like leaving my job. Not everybody wants to do that. We work with a lot of people who are retired, work with a lot of people who are doing this, on the side because they enjoy it too. But I was very passionate about changing my life because I was not happy. That was, we've not talked about our origin stories. I don't know, Angela, when we talk about our origin stories, but I was very not happy. Yeah, I was very not happy. I know it has been a while. I was very not happy with where I was, not my family. I love my family and everything like that, but I mean, my career. Yeah. And I remember the first time I met Angela too. Angela had a very good career. I mean, right. You had a good career and, but something was not, we were looking for something. We were searching for something. So, yeah. How about you? Do you remember what led you to, I can't even remember now. What got you into voiceover originally?
I was in the car business for 20 years. So car business is a very all-consuming thing, being on call pretty much all the time. And I didn't want to be an absentee parent to my child. So I wanted something that was creative on my terms and allowed me to spend more time with my family.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm a book nerd. So it was like audiobooks. It was like just a natural transition, audiobooks. And then I branched out into voiceover in general.
No, absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, looking forward to the time where I don't have to set up my booth up every day to record and my whole office just as my booth. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Keep rocking. It will happen. It will happen. It will happen. Let's see. Strange Stormcat. Bye, guys. Thanks. Thank you. I know we're way over. I'm holding Angela hostage here. I'm sorry, Angela.
You're fine.
Wife, kids, and dogs. Yep. That is the life. And horses. And a cat. Whoops, I did get the email when I joined. It's even red. Well, that's okay. That's okay. Let's see. I'm doing the up to 3 a.m. thing right now for auditioning. Yeah.
Been there.
Man.
We've all had that stint.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Which is a big reason why early on I went to audiobooks, because audiobooks were so much easier to do on off hours, because what you'll learn is a lot of commercial work and things like that. So a lot of it typically happens during business hours. So when I went full time, that was one thing I noticed, that an increase in revenue, because I was able to do things during the day, because I couldn't answer my phone when I was at work. Really, I couldn't do things at work during the day. So it was always like, and that was when I was making a lot of money from Fiverr too. And that was very hard because you're trying to answer people's, questions all the time on Fiverr. I have an on-air display in the hallway so everyone knows. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Do you have
a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, I have on-air back there. It's more like...
Well, yeah, I have my voiceover recording, but I've also heard of people doing how you can have a light bulb on a remote control. So you put it like in the hallway, same thing. And if it's red, you just kind of turn it on from your studio so it's red and people know to be quiet or walk softly or whatever the case is. Along the same lines. That's awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. Joy says, I tried moving my laptop out of my booth, but it didn't work out because I still needed to see the screen. Don't know how to
get an external monitor, Joy. External monitor. And a long HDMI cable to run the monitor to the computer. That's what I did.
Let's see. Hey, Angela, how do I get in touch to get an effects rack from Caesar? Well, he's on. I mean, if you want to work with Caesar, I don't. Caesar is. You can get a hold of him on Discord, right? I guess you can just stuff like that.
Discord.
Yeah. Or you can get a hold of me. As well. Let's see. I currently working till 7 to 8, then studio till midnight or better. Awesome, man. Grinding away. Jody, oh my goodness. Yes, the noise from others in the house can be brutal. Also, they are doing construction right on the edge of my yard, putting the oof.
Temporary though. It's temporary.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Well, we'll take a couple more, you guys, and then we're gonna go ahead and call it a day. I'm tempted to make my tagline "Coming to you from the VO Code Closet."
I call this my cave of wonders.
Oh, that's fun.
A cave of wonders.
That's fun. And it's been so fun over the years, you know, because I knew Angela a long time ago, to see her booth and everything change over time. Like that's always been fun because she didn't used to have all that stuff in there.
No.
But yeah, it's and that's the thing, right? Because you become we live in these spaces.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like a good point, like they become our part of our life.
And now it's my teenage dream. I got lights, I got stuff, I got dragons. I'm happy.
Oh, this is a good question. Go ahead, Angela. Take that one.
How easy is it to make the transition from audiobooks to other forms of voiceover? I'm getting indie games, but hoping to get an agent and start getting bigger. I mean, for me, it was like, what do you need? If I had a question about something about the voiceover they were asking for, I would Google it or watch a video on it and I go, oh, okay, I can do that. And then did it. I mean, like same day. It's not hard at all. It's the same thing. It's just long form and then short form, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a little bit more to it for the games, but we can get into that's a whole other ball of wax. But it's essentially it's the same thing.
Oh yeah, and I've always been a big at least to me, I've always thought work begets more work. So you know what I mean. That's kind of one of those things where you know you just keep putting yourself out there. I will admit I had to do some practicing myself on how to get better at delivering more commercial style as opposed to the audiobooks I was narrating because I was doing a lot of nonfiction. And so I used a very authoritative type of delivery, whereas, you know, that's not all commercials are not looking for that clearly. So, but that's what's cool about, you know, working in VO Journey as well and VO Journey Academy. All right, guys, we're going to have to call it a day. Thank you so much. Angela, thank you so much for sticking around.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And check out Academy Voices as always and VO Journey Academy. We'd love to have you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye.